Hey folks, this is Ira. Thanks for joining us for the Earthquake Report. This discussion covers the earthquake activity from around the globe between March the 23rd through today, Saturday, March the 26th. Today is also known as National Spinach Day. Yay. Let's begin things off by flashing back to Tuesday, March the 22nd. We wrapped the day up with a staggering 369 earthquakes. At this time, we were witnessing the earthquake swarm rattling our pals in Nevada. 182, or 49% of the earthquakes that day originated from none other than Hawthorne, Nevada. So, what would you expect the earthquake activity to look like the following day in the area? A slight increase? Or decrease possibly? Well, that couldn't be further from what actually happened. We experienced a 52% drop in activity in Nevada on Wednesday, March the 23rd. That equates to only 95 quakes. That is still very high for the area considering on a good day we typically see between 15 to 20. I think it is great to point out though just how interesting earth changes can be. Either it's one extreme or the other. At least that's what it feels like. On the other side of the spectrum, we began to see what could be perceived as a balancing act of sorts. California, which has been eerily quiet recently, essentially rebounded on Wednesday. To put that in perspective, we clocked in 94 on the 22nd and 135 on the 23rd. Speaking of Wednesday, March the 23rd, let's discuss our earthquake model. In the previous video, we issued our own earthquake watch as our forecasts indicated a heightened possibility for a 6.1 or greater. We didn't near that at all. In fact, the largest experience that day was a 4.8 in Indonesia. It isn't a complete failure though, let me show you why. Our secondary model indicated that the most intense could be experienced around a 4.6. I believe the failure here would be my own covering of the data in its entirety. Going forward, we will cover all three models so that we have a better expectation as to what could be in store. With that being said, if we review the model, we will see that for today, March the 26th, we are seeing our secondary model indicate earthquake activity topping out around a 4.3. Our primary model, which I feel is more accurate based on the data reviewed, indicates that we could experience an earthquake today in about the 5.8 range. I like to note though that last night we experienced a 5.6 that struck the Carlsberg Ridge at 11:24 p.m. Eastern Time. If we follow the model from the 25th into today, the 26th, the forecast falls right in line with what we have experienced so far. That is interesting. I would love to get your take on this, guys, and I'll accept any feedback you'd like to provide. Looking at the 24th, we experienced 260 earthquakes for the day. We continue to see a reduction in activity in Nevada, this time around with 73 being registered. California is simply all over the map. We went from 130 plus the previous day to only 62. It's really hard to say what exactly is going on or where the pressure is being released. What is your take on this? The most notable earthquakes were sporadically located throughout the globe. The South Sandwich Islands were shaken by a 4.9. Mexico also experienced a 4.9. A 4.9 was felt in Japan. China clocked in a 4.3. And our pals in Oregon, of all places, experienced a noteworthy 3.5 in Lakeview. Yesterday, March the 25th, we clocked in 216. Nevada continued its reduction trend. Only 35 experienced for the day. California remained quiet with only 57 being registered. The majority of the earthquakes there were experienced in Mammoth Lakes and the geysers. Oregon experienced numerous earthquakes yesterday, not all of which were experienced in Lakeview either. 6 in total. 3 rivers, Clatskanny, Lapine, and Lakeview all experienced movement, the average magnitude for these quakes being a 1.4. Wyoming, care of Yellowstone, saw 10 earthquakes, 9 of which originated from Old Faithful Geyser. Old Faithful has racked up 27 earthquakes this month, the most we've experienced in one day for this area, with the exception of yesterday, has been about 1 or 2 earthquakes. It is interesting that all of a sudden, we saw 33% of this month's earthquakes strike the geyser in one day. We're going to have to keep our eyes on this. Outside of that, all the regular places experienced movement yesterday. For the most part, it was pretty quiet. Finally, if we look at the earthquake activity for today, you will see that Nevada hasn't even made the list yet. It's good to see that things are returning to normal for them, I suppose. California is once again quiet, only 25 clocked in thus far. The most notable would be a 4.6 that struck the Solomon Islands. For the remainder of the day, I expect we should be mostly quiet. However, I believe we may see all of that change tomorrow evening into March the 28th. Not only is our forecast model predicting a 6.1 to a possible 7.7, but we have the planetary alignment on this day. Alignments like this in the past have preceded massive earthquakes, including the 9.0 on March the 11th, 2011, the two 8.0s on April the 11th, 2012, and the 7.8 on April the 25th, 2015. With that being said, an earthquake watch is definitely in effect. Eyes open, folks. And that is it for the Earthquake Report. If you experienced an earthquake today, or if you'd like to comment on our forecast model or anything else, please post below. We'd like to hear from you. Make certain to like and subscribe. Share if you feel inclined. Also, if you like the social media thing, you can link to us via the standard allotted social sites in the description. We'll end this report with a video feed from our favorite star. Have a great day.